The Journey Unbound is a documentary series that follows the journey across the United States, meeting with military, veterans, and first responders along the way. The series is hosted by me, former Navy SEAL Josh Jakub. The focus is simple: sit down, have real conversations, and document the lived experiences of those who have served. They are honest, first-hand accounts of the challenges that come with service, both on deployment and back home. This is not just a series about service. This is a series about what comes after and how healing is possible. My grandfather, he's been riding motorcycles since I was a very, very young age. My dad learned motorcycles from his dad, and then I learned Harley Davidsons from my dad. You know, before I was able to ride motorcycles, he had Harley Davidsons, and I obviously was in awe of them in the garage all the time. And I remember when I was younger, he would take me on the back and we'd, ride through town. It was just this freeing feeling. It was so exciting. It was so fun. In high school, my best friend, his name was Robert. He joined the National Guard when he was 17. I believe he went to boot camp. His dad was in the Army as well, and it was kind of a legacy thing for him. So I decided, I was like, you know what? I want to join the military too. I saw him out doing so many cool things out in the world, traveling. Went to boot camp for 2 months. After boot camp, went to SEAL training. Went through BUDS, first time, SQT, first time. Graduated, got my trident, and then went to language school for 3 months and learned Pashto, which is kind of like Farsi. Assigned to SEAL Team 2 in February of 2013. And then after my 5 years there, I ended up doing 3 deployments at that time overseas, and then I went to be a sniper instructor for all of NSW. Everything else should be good on it.
Are you gonna put like all your tools and extra oil in the thrashing bag, or?
No, I'll put a quart of oil in one of those gallon Ziplocs, and I might just leave it in the saddlebag.
Okay.
Just 'cause I have so much space in the saddlebag too. I'll probably do the new seat, put the new seat on as well. But other than that.
Did I get the old seat?
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
Be away from you for a few days.
Gone for a week.
Yeah.
But I'll be gone too, so it'll be fun.
Yeah. So I think when you're in the SEAL teams, there's this awe factor. No one really understands it. They see it through movies. They see it through books. They have this vision of you that you can't possibly live up to. You're the best physically, the best mentally, all these things, right? So you have all this validation. And then you get out of the military. There's that sense of you need that validation still. I was told for 9 years that I was the best. It's a very, very slippery slope, and I think we don't talk about the validation enough. I know it's cliche to say that you're just lost, but I was truly just in the dark, had no direction, I didn't know which way to go. I think it put me in a place where I hated looking at myself in the mirror. I hated who I was. I let myself go physically. I had no confidence whatsoever anymore. And I think in that desperation is when I decided I need help. Talked to my mom about it at the time, and again, don't know who told me about AWA, but I ended up applying, and 2 weeks later I was out on the mountain. The American Warrior Association exists to bring healing to the unseen wounds carried by military service members, veterans, first responders, and their families. Through practical support, research-based resources, and faith-centered pathways to healing, we walk with warriors as they rediscover resilience, purpose, and peace. Each conversation reveals the reality of what our nation's warriors carry. and the hope that emerges when those burdens are no longer held alone. Are you excited for yours?
I am. I always like going on these AWA trips. Going on the trips and coming back, I always feel way better, more at peace, more connected to God, everything.
Good.
Yeah. I think the trip will do the same for you.
Yeah. I hope so. I don't see why I wouldn't.
Yeah. It's pretty crazy to see, like, how far you've come.
Yeah.
Just from going on the AWA trips, too. To see, like, the change in just your demeanor, your body language, everything. It's actually kind of crazy to think about. I think going on the trips allowed you to process what life was like after the military, because that's the hardest part. You know, you have an identity in who you are in the teams, you have an identity in who you are for the formative years of your life, and losing that and the death of that is something that's really hard to go through.
When I got out of the military, I never took time to, like, find myself again. I thought I was who I was, you know, and then I think when you said demeanor, it was just like automatically, I remember I was like going out on the trip trying to find Indiana Josh again, like who I was as a kid, like when I was truly happy and the things that I liked. And it wasn't the team guy that was just puffing his chest or doing whatever. And I feel like I was just pushing so hard to try to find happiness in all areas that I wasn't used to. So it just hindered me finding peace, period. So I'm excited John's coming out today.
I'm excited to meet him.
Yeah.
I've never met him.
Wait, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you have.
No.
Oh.
I'm so excited. I've heard his story, and
yeah, his story is pretty incredible. Just like his journey that he's walked, and he's coming on AWA trips, and we got to we baptized him with Mikey and David and everybody, which was super cool. But yeah, I'm excited to show him just the property and the farm and everything. And
yeah.
so my buddy John, we met years ago, back when I was really networking around Nashville and going out to the bars quite a bit. He was actually doing security and head of security for a couple of these bars that I was going to. And John, come to find out, he was a Marine. So we had the military backgrounds that kind of connected us a little bit deeper. And our friendship really grew a lot when I started to realize, you know, things that he was kind of dealing with from his military career and things I was dealing with from my military career. And I was able to invite John out on an AWA trip, and I think it was a trip that really changed the trajectory of his life. We live in the same town, which is pretty cool, so I get to see him quite a bit, and he actually comes out on AWA trips and volunteers. He's been integrated into my friend group through AWA and all the guys across the country.
Good to see you.
It's nice to meet you. I can't believe I'm going to give you a hug. It's nice to meet you. Josh, we have a
John, Colleen, John.
Yeah.
Well, welcome, dude.
You want to show the barn?
Yeah, I'll show you the barn.
Awesome. Sweet.
So, basically our property line goes this fence line here, and there's a little creek on the other side, and it goes all the way up to the top. There's like 3 gates once you get past there. But I'm trying to make like a trail up there for the side-by-side that we can fit it up in there. I put pistol targets down here, and then I put a 8-inch head plate all the way up in the woods. So like sitting at the table, you can shoot all the way up there into the woods. This is the barn, man.
Nice.
This is the old girl.
Nice. Whose are these?
This is Colleen's, actually. We have the same bike. Basically, she has the sport version of it. Hers is a year newer than mine, though, too. So, but it's nice because all parts that I have, or like I don't use, I can use on her bike as well.
Man, it's taking the roads to get here. I was like, I know you guys got to enjoy riding.
Oh, yeah.
Like all those turns, I was like, this is perfect for them.
And it's funny because like on the weekends, it'll be bikes on our road all the time just because it's beautiful out here and like people just want to get away from the city, I think. And then this is mine. Oh, yeah.
Man, you're going to spend a lot of time on it.
That's why I ended up getting a new seat for it, just because that one, it's great for around town, but the bigger seat that I have to put on it, so much more comfy, just because after maybe 300 miles on that one, my butt starts to hurt a little bit. So,
how many miles are you going to be riding?
I think this trip should be about 1,000 and then 1,000 to get home, basically. So I'll be like 1,900 to 2,000 miles on this trip. So I needed something extremely comfy because I don't want to be frustrated with it the whole time.
All right, what are we working on?
I want to replace the windshield. So this is a Clearview shields that they sent me. This is like their bronze color, but I have the dark one that I want to put on. It's just 6 screws to hold that on. But so we'll switch out this windshield now. Let me see here.
So tell me about the trip.
So basically the trip, I had this idea back in 2023 and I got pulled over. We were on a motorcycle trip to Iowa. As we got pulled over, the officer, he just gave us a warning. We weren't speeding that much, but I was able to share AWA with him and like hopes to get him out on a trip. But anyway, on the ride home, I was just like on the bike. I was so at peace and I was like, if I could just go out and travel on the bike and then hear all these people's stories, because I was like, I wonder what his story is. I bet he's had some crazy work stories, you know, just like being a police officer. So I was like, I want to do this. I want to go out on the road, travel, talk to people, hear their stories, and then hopefully that will in turn help other people, you know, once they hear it. So it's kind of progressed into hearing what other people's peace is, right? So like the reason I'm doing it on the Harley is because this is my peace. It like gives me joy and happiness, and just it's a way to clear my head, to reflect, relax, and just kind of clear all the negativity out of my life. So I want to hear, you know, what they've gone through, like what moral injuries they've gone through in their life that, you know, one, they've either overcome or they haven't overcame yet. And I want to be like, you know, kind of a guide to help people. You hear one guy's story and it's like, oh man, that relates to me, you know, and it helps you kind of heal yourself, you know, hearing those stories. And if I could do that on camera to the world, it could take the AWA trips that we do and just kind of broaden it to the whole world to like help other people and realize, one, you're not alone, and two, like there is hope that you can heal. I just want to get out there and get as many stories as I can, and hopefully they help some other people, you know, just like us. So people hear the term PTSD a lot, but there's another side to trauma that doesn't get talked about enough, called moral injury. And really, it's what happens when someone experiences, witnesses, or even takes part in something that goes against everything they believe is right. For military and first responders, that can come from things they saw on the job, decisions made in tough moments, or just things they couldn't stop. But it can also come from everyday life too. You know, loss, betrayal, abuse, or moments that just completely shake somebody's sense of trust, purpose, or identity. The weight of that can stay with somebody long after the moment's gone. And a lot of people, they start isolating or turning to alcohol and drugs just to cope or quiet their mind for a little while. And too often, people carry all of it in silence.
Gone on 5 trips so far, and
Has it been 5?
I think it's been 5.
Nice.
Yeah, and every time that we go on one, hearing some of these people's stories, it's not what I expected at first. You know, we have people there that were talking about marriage, you know, marriage problems or problems with their family, you know, their kids, trying to connect with them. And that's what I love the most about it. It was like, you can come and you can talk about whatever it is that's bothering you, not just your service. You know, it's like, yeah, I'm sure everyone has something that's bothering them there, but sometimes that's not the biggest thing.
Yep.
I mean, my first trip, you know, it was like, I kept it in forever. Like, my childhood wasn't great. I was abused physically, mentally, and sexually by like my mother. And that was very hard for me growing up. And, you know, I kept it in forever. And then when I was in the Marine Corps, finally, it just like, it built up too much to where I was like, I can't do this anymore. And like, I reached out to the Marine Corps for help, and, you know, their whole care was like, is he deployable? Yeah. That's all they really cared about. They didn't really give me any help. They were just, you know, the doctor was like, yeah, he's not suicidal. He's good to go. That was it. There was no more help, nothing. And so I just carried with me forever. And then on that trip, that's what was bothering me the most. Like, yeah, there's stuff that like, you know, in service that I always like, you know, that like I always thought about, that was always on the back of my mind I dealt with. But that was like the key thing at that time that I knew that I needed to deal with first before I could deal with anything else. Yeah. And I remember that there is one guy on the trip, he wasn't participating at all. Like, I think you remember too, he wasn't participating. He was on his phone. I remember you kept going over being like, hey, you know, if you participate a little bit. He was dead silent the entire time. Didn't want anything to do with the trip. And it was like that last night when like I really opened up about that, and I was like, this is what happened to me as a child. You know, it was like I was up to this age, it was happening to me. I finally started to fight back. Like, no one was listening. I was afraid. I was embarrassed about it because here I am, boy, you know, and it was awkward. So when I finally opened up about it, I remember everyone in the room was trying to give me their advice.
Yeah.
And that the dude that didn't want to participate, that was silent in the corner there, immediately spoke up and was like, don't listen to any of them, like out of nowhere.
I remember he like took charge.
Yeah, like out of nowhere. He's been silent for a whole week, and out of nowhere he just opens up and he's like, don't listen to any of them. They don't know what they're talking about. They never been through it. I have. And he just started telling us everything that happened to him.
Yeah.
And he kind of was like, I've never said this to anyone before. Like, here we were for a whole week and he had no plans on sharing it, like at all. That wasn't even a thought in his mind. And me sharing it got him to open up to where the rest of that trip, he was participating, he was smiling, he was happy. Yeah. Like, he even texted me afterwards, being like, are you good? You know, so I just like the fact that it doesn't have to be about that. You know, it could be whatever it is that is bothering us in our lives, but it's just the fact that we all come from the same, even if you're Army, Marines, Navy, doesn't matter. We're different branches, but we all have that same mindset. And so we're able to still be like that community and that family.
And I think one thing with us, like military first responders in general, is like you want to appear strong, so no one shares the stuff that happens outside of the job because of it makes you look weak. It's like, oh, like you can't handle just home life like a normal civilian could. But at the end of the day, that's probably where majority of moral injuries come from, is like civilian life or after the military or even before the military or whatever it is, you know, or before service or after service.
I mean, I was Marine infantry, and if you wanted to go to BH, you know, and get treated or something wrong, you're weak. Yeah. Like, we're not supposed to be hurt, so you don't. You have that, you know, like you said, you have that mindset. You're not supposed to be weak, not supposed to let loose, but you also have your brothers that you're with every day for however long that you're in, and then one day it's gone. Yeah. You know, I remember driving out the gate and I'm like excited. I was like, man, I'm finally free. You know, I'm like, I got the music blasting. I'm like, I'm out of here. And then like a week later, I was just like, what did I do? I was like, I'm still texting my boys and I'm like, I don't know why I did this. Like, I knew we would all get separated eventually, but like, it was just hit me so hard. And that's when it like really kicked in, because like, yeah, I had their numbers and whatever, and it's that whole like call and check up on your buddy, but I had a buddy take his life that I served with, you know, and I struggled with that for a while. He was reaching out for help, but I didn't see the signs, you know, and I blame myself, because I'm like, he was like, hey, I want to hang out with you. Can we meet up while you're home? And he was one of my seniors. And I was like, I just got back from the deployment and I was like putting it off. I was like, wanting to go out and party instead. I was like, I'll see you when I get back. And I didn't realize that was him reaching out for help. So, you know, I really struggled with that a lot. The last trip we went on, the other Marine that was on that trip, we were sitting there, and that man had been in 20-something years, been on several combat deployments. And, you know, he was saying, he's like, man, I wish I had done infantry like you. And I was like, man, I didn't see anything when I was in. Like, what are you talking about? You did 20 years. I did 4. And he was like, well, sometimes I wish I would have done infantry, so I didn't come back. And I was like, I just looked at him. I was like, well, I'm glad you're back. I'm glad you're here. Yeah. I'm glad you went down the route you did. I'm glad you're here. Like, and you don't have to prove anything to anyone, dude. Like, you've done more than anyone else here has. Like, I don't know what you mean by this. And, you know, later on that night, he got up and he was like, I needed to hear that. He was like, I hadn't heard someone really say that to me before. Yeah. And it's just us just randomly talking about our time in, and, you know, the stupid things we both did when we were in and everything, and that just naturally flowed out. Yeah. Because even when you come home, like, the people you were with, they're different now, you know? Yeah. They have zero clue what you've been through. Even if you try to explain it to them, they don't understand it. Yeah. It's hard to explain it to your family. And so you just end up bottling it up and just being like, I'm just going to move on. Military first responders, they keep it inside because they don't want to put that pain that they're carrying onto others that have never experienced that. They want them to live that bliss life, you know, of peace and everything, because that's our job. That was my job, your job, law enforcement job, is to keep that evil at bay, so then those people don't have to, you know, deal with that kind of stuff.
So did you work yesterday?
Yeah, I worked at the bar yesterday. If it wasn't for working the bars, I wouldn't have ever met you. You know, what was that? How long ago was that?
That was probably 2022, actually.
Yeah, I left the bars because it was just getting too much. Like, the violence, the drinking. I was heading down a bad road. I was getting into things that I shouldn't have been getting into.
It's so easy.
It is.
In downtown Nashville to
Yeah.
just go drink every single day.
And everyone's partying. Finally, when I left that bar, I went to start doing more private security for big people, and I got hit up like, hey, can you go to this or work this school? And I was like, yeah. I was like, how long? They're like, oh, it'd be just 3 days till we find someone else. And I remember I got there and met the principal and everything, and 3 days turned into a week, and then she asked, I want to stay a little longer, and now it's been almost 3 years. And
When I was in school, you had no security,
yeah.
right? It was just like you go to school, it's whatever. And then now it's like every school has security, and it's a shame.
I've seen and been able to help other schools and be able to change their security and prevent some things that, could have happened. So blessed to be able to go in that school and spend the time I do with the kids, and I know all their names.
That's
I mean,
cool.
It's just, I can't describe it, how amazing it is.
That's awesome.
I have my own company now with 2 amazing partners, but even they know that like I need to be at the school because that's where I'm happy.
Yeah.
And so now I'm there 2 days a week, and man, it's just, those are my days off. They don't even feel like I'm working because I get to walk in. The staff is family to me, and I got all these kids that all day I just hear Mr. John.
Yeah, that's
They're just, all they want to do is just love and have fun, and you can't be upset around that.
Yeah.
You see these kids and you spend enough time with them, and you're like, this is my child.
Yeah.
Like ain't no one getting near this child. That and AWA have been the best things to ever happen to me.
Well, good.
And I'm glad they happened at the same time. It has just been the biggest blessing. I mean, can't tell you, it's not work for me. Talk to a child, same way you talk to a drunk person. Like, hey, don't stand on that chair. Let's keep our hands to ourselves. Like I use the same voice. The same rules apply at the bar as they do at the school for the kids.
That's funny. So what are you doing the rest of the day? You just gonna hang out?
Probably just gonna go home and relax a little bit. But I guess I'll hit the road. I'll pray for you before I head out.
100%.
Awesome, man. Lord, please watch over Josh as he embarks on this journey. Please point him in the right direction that will lead him to people that are needing the help that he has to offer. And please take care and watch over our brothers and sisters that are no longer with us. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you.
Love you. Thanks for coming by.
Yeah, of course. Be safe out there.
I will. It is that time, babe.
Hit the road.
Yeah.
I love you.
Love you too.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
And you're gonna do amazing. But please, please, please be safe on the road.
I will.
Call me, text me.
I will.
Let me know how it goes.
I will. I'm gonna miss you.
I miss you too.
I'll see you
love you.
soon.
Yes.
And I said, if this docuseries could help one person, that's all we need. All this time, all this effort, all the miles, if it can just save one life, that's the goal. Just to have all the love from everybody, all the prayers have just been flooding in from everybody, and it's just, God has his hand in this, and it's been incredible.